Welcome back to Midnight Customs, folks. So we're going to do a little video on the Arccaptain Mig200 today, specifically on it having a malfunction and repairing that. So this is my original Mig200, and this thing worked fantastic until it didn't. So one day, a couple months ago or so, I had my table grounded and I set the torch down and the wire touched the table and it started arcing. So I'm like, this is weird. What do we do? Did we hit the button or what was the deal? Anywho, I pick it up and I touch it to the workpiece and it starts welding and feeding wire as it's touching the workpiece. Hands not even touching the trigger. Not cool. Kind of dangerous. So anyway, I reached out to Arccaptain and I explained to them what was going on, and I sent a video demonstrating the issue that I was having. And also the other thing too is the readout up here was just jumping all over the place, and when I was trying to feed the line without it actually welding, holding the trigger, it was just at a snail's pace. Usually when you're feeding fresh line or it's not got any resistance on it, it really ramps up the speed to feed it to the gun. Anyway, enough of that. So turns out the motherboard in this thing is fried, and not fried necessarily, just malfunctioning. Anyway, today we're going to show you how to pull this case apart and where that chip is, and we're going to install a new chip. So what you're going to need is a standard screwdriver and Phillips screwdrivers. Let's get right into it. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 6 of these. There's 2 on this side and 2 on this side, and then also there's 2 in this handle. So I'll show you that. Now you don't have to worry about taking those little bolts out of there. You can just leave them in the handle. Once you get that off, this just lifts off. Now, here's the inside of your machine. And this right here is the board that we're after. You got these 2 little tabs right here. Just pop them out. This ribbon unplugs. And then these here just have a little push tab. They're almost like an automotive type connector. And these little ones you just kind of got to really clamp onto with your fingers. They just pop out. So these are all Phillips screws. Did we get everything out there? Yes, we did. You got 4 of these little tiny ones with little washers on them. Alright, so holding that motherboard in is those 4 little screws, and they're just Phillips head also. And once you do that, those 4 pegs are what hold this chip in. Now, what I was showing you earlier was that ribbon connector just has this dealie here, and they just clip in like that. And then a couple of these connectors are kind of like an automotive style. They got a little push tab on them. And then you got a couple like this that you're just going to have to pinch with your fingers and just pull on them. Don't pull too hard. You don't want to damage nothing, you know. Anyway, so what we have is the old chip. And then what we have here is the brand new chip that Arccaptain shipped to us. Comes with a brand new ribbon attached. Got your production date. Anyway, so that's what we got. Now, all you got to do to put this in is just the reverse order of taking the old one out. Now keep in mind, you've got two of these ribbons. You have this one that comes off the control panel, and that's going to plug in up here. Now, before you plug it in, just make note, you see this notch right here? That dictates orientation of the ribbon from the control panel. As you can see, there's a notch right here. So just make sure you get that orientated right and save yourself a bunch of headache fumbling with it. Alright, and then this ribbon is actually going to plug in, the one that's on the board, is actually going to plug in right here on this side, and it's the same kind of connector as this. So now you got your board all screwed back in, and don't overthink it. This is super easy. Find all your connectors. Alright, so if you didn't take pictures or didn't have a photographic memory, don't worry. So, there's a couple extra connectors here on the chip. These are not used. The ones that are used are marked with red paint. So this is the new chip installed. Here's the old chip. Those were all marked with red paint. So those are the ones that you're going to be using for the MiG200. So I got these all plugged back in. And then this is the last connector. Remember, that little notch goes up. And just like that, you're all done. All right, folks, there it is back on the welding cart. We spooled her up with a 10-pounder of 030 flux core, and we gave her a test fire. Tested her out all the ways we found out that she was malfunctioning, and she's no longer malfunctioning. Weld's like brand new again. So I hope you found this video informative and helpful, and it's super easy. Just reach out to Arccaptain if you need a new chip for yours.